News brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Drain Service, Blue Current, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
Hey, good morning. Happy Thursday to you. We're moving along through this week. I told you it'd be a good one, and it's shaping up to be a pretty good week, I think. It's warm, that's for sure. So if you want more from Abby Dyer's Wake Up Weather Forecast, stick around after this if you're listening to the audio broadcast.
Yeah, and I feel like it went by fairly quickly, too.
I think it did, too. I think it did
good.
too. Yeah,
Good.
That's a good week. All right. In the news this morning, shocking find this week at Mallory Early Childhood Center in Springfield, a loaded gun in the backpack of a 3-year-old student, preschooler. Police in the Springfield Public School District are now investigating exactly how that may have happened. The child apparently did not know it was in there. A staff member found the gun in the child's backpack, secured it, and called school police to the scene. And then that Marine, we told you about the Marine who'd been missing for more than a month. Well, now he has been found and arrested. Private First Class Kavian Elder is currently being held in Bourbon, Missouri, about an hour outside St. Louis up along Interstate 44. Remember, he disappeared from Fort Leonard Wood back in early May. U.S. Marshals helped capture him there in Bourbon. He missed lights out on May 3rd at Fort Leonard Wood, was declared absent without leave. Not long after that, he's now facing a federal violation for disappearing. Not sure exactly the charge, but he's in trouble.
Yep. All right. Floodwater is starting to go down around the Ozarks. The Gasconade River crested yesterday after all the rain over the weekend. Several campgrounds along lakes and rivers have been closed, and cleanup has been underway following all the debris getting into the water. Cedar County reports about $500,000 in damage from the flooding. Wow. Yeah. Seems like everywhere there's something going on. Work continues in Greene County as well to make some repairs following the damage here in Greene County.
Yeah, it
is.
It was busy there for a while. I mean, that rain came all at once too.
All right, now to this. A new report shows the Springfield area is seeing the biggest jump in population as far as numbers go, compared to any metro area in the state of Missouri. So Springfield's the place to be, apparently. The U.S. Census Bureau reports the area, including Christian, Dallas, Greene, Polk, and Webster counties, grew by almost 15,000 people from July of 2020 through July of 2023. During that time frame, the city of Nixa grew the most at nearly 10%. That's interesting.
I feel like, do we know some people who moved here during that time? I was trying to think of the folks from California.
Oh, our friends.
They moved before
Bob
that.
And Nadine. I think they moved before that in 2018.
Okay,
I believe. Yeah, so a little bit before that. But it is not uncommon to meet people around the Ozarks who are from California. It seems.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I know that.
So, all right. Well, many of those people might be looking to buy a house. The Federal Reserve just announced that it will leave the interest rate unchanged. Part of that is based on new information that shows inflation is relaxing slightly, but it's still too high for the Fed to lower the interest rate. The Fed's benchmark rate has now stayed within 5.25% and 5.5% for about the last year.
I was just reading part of an article yesterday about how, with the interest rate being so high for so long and home prices being, during COVID, they went sky high, that a lot of younger people feel like they're never going to be able to own a house, which is interesting because that's kind of like the antithesis of America. It seems like America is all about home ownership, and everybody feels like, here's what you do. You graduate college, you get married, and you buy a home.
Yeah.
So people, it's a weird feeling to know that some people feel like they can't or will never be able to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. It would be weird to feel like you never could. But I also feel like right out of college, I mean, not everybody, but I certainly was very short-sighted at that point. I remember thinking to sign a 2-year television contract seemed like an eternity. I was like, 2 years? What? And
now you can do 2 years standing on your head.
Right. Yeah. Now I can do 2 years standing on my head. You are short-sighted, it seems, at that age.
Yeah.
Or it could have just been me. I don't know if I was just immature or something, but
yeah,
it was.
I think that's by and large true. You don't have the wisdom of time.
Yeah.
That comes with time. Branson is getting a new hotel, and Element by Weston is going to be built near Whitewater and the Ballparks of America. That part of Branson. Groundbreaking is set for 2 weeks from now. The developer trying to capitalize on 30,000 people who attend games at Ballparks of America annually. That's a lot of people that they get in. But they have little league tournaments and travel team tournaments all the time. And man, if you can have a hotel right next to it, we know from traveling for soccer and swimming that that is nice when you don't have to go far to get to the games. This will be the third Marriott branded hotel in Branson when it's completed.
Yeah, I bet it's nice. I like Marriott's.
Yeah, this type of it's an Element by Weston. So I don't think I've been in one of those, but Kansas City Chiefs defensive end B.J. Thompson. We told you about his health incident. He's now out of the hospital and recovering at home. He suffered a seizure and then cardiac arrest at a team meeting last week. Thompson is in his second year with the Chiefs. He was selected in the 5th round of the draft last year, 2023. He played in only one game during the last season, but everybody rooting for him. You wonder how that cardiac arrest happened for somebody.
Oh, man. Yeah, I think, isn't he 27? Isn't that what I read? I think he's 27.
I think he's younger than that.
Was it? He might be.
He was a rookie last year, out of college.
Yeah.
And then there's this, even before he officially becomes the new president of the Missouri State University, Dr. Biff Williams. Dr. Biff is leading the process of finding a new athletic director for the university. That, after longtime AD Kyle Motes left for the AD job at Eastern Kentucky University. So MSU is now hoping to have a new athletics director within the next 2 months. So they're going to have to get on the stick. I'm sure applications are flowing in because there are a lot of ADs throughout the country who would love a job at Missouri State University. So
yeah, and a good place to settle too. By the way, he's 25. B.J. Thompson is 25. So you're right. He was younger. Okay, tonight you have another opportunity to catch the Springfield cashew chickens, not the food, not the dish, not the famous dish, but the famous team. A handful of times throughout the season, the Springfield Cardinals baseball team becomes the Springfield Cashew Chickens, complete with specialty jerseys and hats that the teams wear. And then they also sell them in the team store at the ballpark. You can get tickets at the Springfield Cardinals website or at Hammons Field if you want to just walk up. There are 6 other Cashew Chickens nights on the schedule this season. So if you really want to go see the Springfield Cardinals play as the Cashew Chickens, fear not. If you can't make it out tonight, there are 6 others.
That's fun. I think that's a neat idea that minor league baseball is doing to try to capitalize on the coolness of different cities and the things that those cities are popular for. It's baseball weather. I'll tell you that. Suddenly it's become summertime. And our boy was at the Cardinals game yesterday, wasn't he?
Yes, he was at the Cardinals game yesterday with his friend. He had a great time. It was sunny and pretty perfect. And it's interesting. I read an article yesterday that the average time of year that Springfield hits 90, the average date is June 12th. And so today's the 13th, and we're supposed to hit 90 today. So we would be 1 day off average if we get up to 90 today. So it's always hard because, it starts out a little cool, but then we start heading upward. So
yeah, that's interesting. It feels like we're still in late spring or very, very early summer. And I guess we are, but it's we're midway through June, which, there's July and August and it's back to school.
Yeah. Oh, don't remind me. It's going to come up so soon.
I know.
So soon.
The kids are like, quit it, foreheads, you're killing me.
Yeah, I know.
Let us enjoy some vacation time.
Okay. Well, here we are. Hope you have a fantastic Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yep. As always, we're grateful for you listening and watching whatever you do. Share it with friends, and we will see you right back here bright and early tomorrow. See you.
Bye.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Scooters Coffee and Rescue Towing. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everyone. You are listening to Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. It is Thursday, June 13th. Thanks for starting your day with us here. Temperatures are in the mid-60s as of 5 a.m. And if you like summertime, today is for you. We have some really nice, warm summer temperatures on the way today. We stay rain-free in the Ozarks today, but I do have some rain chances that have started to move into the extended forecast. I'll get to that in just a minute. I don't think we see rain during the day today. However, tonight may be a different story as a cold front sinks south into the Ozarks. The big story for us this afternoon that it's the first day of summertime heat. We've got heat that's building, high temperatures landing in the upper 80s, low 90s, and heat index values are probably going to be somewhere from 95 to 100 degrees today. There will be an area of very active weather across the Midwest today, and it's really just to our north. In fact, northern Missouri having an opportunity for some severe weather as we head into this evening and tonight. The Ozarks, well, we may see a stray storm from that, but the best chances are likely going to be up in central Missouri, well north of Highway 54. So maybe just sneaking into some of our very far northern counties. And if that happens, it will be very late in the overnight hours tonight. Today, the big story, as I mentioned, it's the heat. Heat builds into the region, and we are talking about this sticking around through early next week. Very minimal rain chances are expected. So even though you're going to hear me talk about some thunderstorm chances in the forecast, I mean, these are isolated at best. These are not washout type rains, anything that's going to rain all day long. The heat is the bigger story and the humidity that goes along with it. You're going to start hearing words like heat exhaustion, heat stroke, dehydration in the forecast for the next couple of weeks because it really does look like we're going to see some very warm temperatures ahead. So just a reminder to protect yourself from the heat. We haven't quite felt these heat index values near the triple digits yet, so drink plenty of water if you're going to be outdoors. Apply sunscreen every 2 hours. That reapplication is really important, especially for the kids that are going to be out, doing that water play in the outdoors the next couple of days. Take regular breaks in the shade and if you can in the air conditioning because the heat is on and it looks like it's here to stay when I look at some of the extended weather charts. Cold front that I mentioned that arrives tonight into early Friday may mean thunderstorms for our northern counties overnight tonight into early tomorrow. That could last through the afternoon. And just kind of a heads up here, any storms that do get going have the potential to bring some severe weather here. The heat and humidity are just so high that very isolated activity could mean that the storms produce some gusty winds, some hail is going to be possible out of some of the strongest storms. I just want to give you a heads up that that's a potential in the forecast as we head into Friday. Today, we're talking a mostly sunny sky, high temperature at 90 in Springfield. Not too cool tonight, 70, my low temperature forecast. And when you start at 70 degrees on Friday morning, well, it's going to get into the 90s pretty quickly. Humidity in the forecast Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, each of those days, temperatures will remain in the low 90s, but it will feel more like 95 to 100 degrees. Around the country, what's making headlines? Well, you've heard about all the heavy rainfall affecting South Florida. Now, the National Hurricane Center eyeing another area of potential tropical development for the Western Gulf. So we'll keep an eye on that. Models hinting that we may see some development in the Gulf by next week. There's also that slight risk of severe weather that I mentioned today. It's a pretty widespread area that could see some of the stronger storms. It's for the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, parts of the Middle Mississippi Valley, and the Central Plains. That's as we head into tonight. Excessive heat also still making headlines in the forecast today for parts of Central and Northern California, and heat advisories and special weather statements may be necessary out there, as it's a bit early to see the extreme heat in Northern California. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister Trivia question. This is what I left you with yesterday. Nearly all fossils are preserved in what type of rock? And the options that I gave you were A, volcanic, B, igneous, C, sedimentary, or D, metamorphic. Do you remember this from grade school? I very vividly remember all of this rock stuff because I thought it was just so cool. C, Sedimentary. Congrats if that was your guess. Almost all fossils are preserved in sedimentary rock. Organisms that live in low places, such as lakes or ocean bases, have the best chance of being preserved. That's because they are already in locations where the sediment is likely to bury them and shelter them from scavengers and decay. And we learn so much from those ocean creatures that are beneath the surface. So congrats if C was your guess. Here's your next chance to win $20 to Scooter's Coffee. Prince Harry, what is his official first name? Don't look it up. Just take a guess. Do you think it is A, Archie, B, William, C, Henry, or D, Charles? You can submit your guess. That's at aroundtheozarks.com. You can also check the forecast there. We've got you covered up to the minute every single day. That's at aroundtheozarks.com. Thank you so much for listening this morning. And thank you to our sponsors, Scooter's Coffee and Rescue Towing. Have a fantastic day. Hope you find a way to beat the heat. We will chat again tomorrow morning.